It's so bright in here. All right. Okay. So, without further ado, we should get moving on this one this morning. I'm just going to say hi. My image is here just for those people who are online. Welcome. And I know some people are also online that are here. That's good. So, and again, I encourage you guys to join the way you like. In this course, I'll be sharing, kind of my YouTube videos and everything else at the same time that we're connecting with each other live. So whether you're here in person or you're remote, it doesn't matter. It should be a very similar experience at the end of the day. All right, so I'm going to get off the video because it's going to slow us down a little bit. So I'll be continuing with everything else we're doing. But welcome back. We are COMP2112. That's Advanced Client-Side Scripting in the fall 2022 semester. You're cold at Georgian, and it's week 8. We're back from our a bit of a break that we took. I feel it's like not enough time. Should be longer break. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, as the days are getting darker, I feel a little bit more tired and I need more time off. I'll be right back. I'm just going to turn the lights down a little bit. Okay. Sorry. So traditionally what I do is on Halloween, which is today's Halloween day, I typically do a remote session. And there's a couple of reasons for that. This is every year, no matter what school I'm working at, no matter what program I'm teaching in. A lot of times it's because Halloween is probably the worst driving day of the year, right? So everything from dropping off your kid with a costume to, avoiding other kids on the street, all that kind of stuff. Just generally, it's a bad idea to drive. So I don't encourage anybody to do that. And typically we would do remote, but we are 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like there's going to be goblins and ghouls around that we're going to, kind of potentially have an accident with. Driving today wasn't so bad in the morning, but I know this afternoon for those people who are driving, be safe, guys. Drive slowly. There's going to be a lot of kids on the road compared to normal. And hopefully, if you're working or if you're here at school, I would recommend leaving as early as you can. Right. So it's just normally the worst driving day of the year is what we call it for a number of reasons. Back to what we're doing, though. Welcome back. So we are in the second half of our semester together. Again, we're staying here at October 31st. And today is all about our journey into React. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. Again, I always feel bad that we only have one session together. I feel like we should have a couple of sessions at least. That's just me. I always have a lot of information to give you and never enough time. I always find that as well. So it is what it is. We don't have a lot of you this morning, and I just want to remind you that next week we're going to be remote because we're going to follow that schedule that's online. I've kind of posted this on Blackboard. It's like every other week we kind of flip-flop for being in person or remote, right? And all the professors should be doing the same thing with you, like the same schedule. So it's not going to be like, some professors are here and some professors are remote. This week we're physically here, and next week we're remote, and so on until the final week. So things that we've done, things that I'm working on getting all your marks up to date. I've looked at some of your portfolios and some of your midterm marks. They look okay. I don't think that people had a real problem with the midterm, to be honest. I feel like it was okay compared to everything else. Portfolios were kind of mixed, the things I've seen so far. Some of them are great. Some of them are not that great. And that's only because of the time spent. Some people submitted late, which is weird, right? Having a lot of time and then submitting, like, right exactly at 12:01 a.m. They're like, please, professor, take my code. Please, I know I'm late. You've had weeks. I understand. Everyone's got different priorities, but those kind of things happen. But always remember that I'm not going to be like, oh, you're 12:01 a.m. I'm going to take off 20%. It's not going to happen. Okay, that's not how I work. But also, please be reasonable with me. If you submit like, 3 days or 4 days after the time the Dropbox is closed, or something like that, there's a reason for it, because you're really late. People have sent me emails saying, please accept my stuff. I was running late, and on top of everything else, I couldn't submit anything. There's a limit to how much I can do, and I have to be fair with everybody else who submitted on time. So bear with me as I go through the whole process. I kind of do a couple of passes. The first pass is usually like offline. I get to take a look at everybody's work, and then I kind of compare it to everything else, and then I make a mark adjustment, and then I submit, and then I kind of release all the marks at once. I try as much as I can. So last time we were together, we did our midterm test, and I talked about how to deploy your files to render.com. That's what we did. Hopefully that helped. The little kind of tutorial that I did on the midterm test, I kind of showed you how to do it. And this week we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, all about React and that kind of thing. So hopefully you'll be able to see that as well. Let's see if I can actually do this. Yes, it's actually working now. Okay, there we go. So what I want to talk about now in this first video, we did a bit of admin, and I want to talk about your assignment 2, right, which is now released. Don't panic is the thing I always like to say with assignment 1 and assignment 2. Assignment 1 is a bit of like, let's break the ice. I want to throw you into the deep end of the pool and see how you can swim. That's assignment 1. And assignment 2 is like, okay, now let's make you even a better swimmer. And you're going to be working with the content that you had from assignment 1. Let's talk about assignment 2. So assignment 2 is a React menu portfolio. We should actually rename this to React portfolio. How about that? React portfolio. And really, it's going to take your existing content and convert it into a React app. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. I'm just going to see who else we got here, just to make sure that there's anyone else. There we go. Okay, the regular suspects. Yeah, React portfolio. And all you're going to be doing is for this one for 10%. So you kind of paid for it heavy with the first one. It's worth 8%, the first one. So it's not so crazy. The second is worth 10%. And I think it's easier than the first one. But again, professors, they always think things are easy, and then you do it and there's issues. We'll talk about those things. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be converting your portfolio site from assignment 1 into a React app. Okay, that's what you're going to be doing. And initially, when you think about what we're going to talk about over the next couple of weeks, you're going to be like, holy crap, there's a lot of work to do to convert my portfolio. Because some of you have done some really great CSS work, and some of you have added your own customizations. I'm going to say most of your portfolio, and I say that only because there's some things that won't convert one-to-one, as you're going to see. And for you guys, when you take a look at your portfolio site, if you have issues, if you think you're going to have problems, please connect with me, because some of you have added some some other features to make your portfolio awesome, and it's not as easy to do that with React. It takes a little bit of extra research. I don't expect every single feature that was kind of live on your portfolio site to work. If you had things like, I don't know, different animations and that kind of stuff that are not going to work properly with React or something, typically it's okay. It's all going to work the same. But there are some things that work a little bit different. One thing to note is I do not want you to inject your content anymore into your portfolio site for assignment 2. So whatever you had injected has to, this is the work that you're going to do. You actually physically have to place it on the page now. So that's like inside of your JSX pages, which we're going to be talking about what those are in a bit, which means no more injection. Okay, at least not the same way. Okay, and you'll see how that works. If there is injection, actually everything is going to be injected, but it's not with JavaScript anymore. All right, so that's what's going to go away. The injection piece was just you getting to know a little bit more about JavaScript functions and all those things. Yeah.
Do I need to just convert it, or can I just make a new one? Because I actually not.
I don't need you to convert it. Yeah, that's a good question. Should it be quote unquote converted or made new? You just need to use the content. Okay, so if you use the content, I think that's good enough. But what I'm saying is you can use your existing portfolio site, so that way you don't have to make new content. You don't need new content. You can use the same images, everything the same, but you know, converting it is not easy. You actually were having some conversion process. It's more like I need to make a new app and then add more of my content again. But you can do a lot of that work. Some of it can be done in a copy paste operation, believe it or not. Other parts of it are going to have to be reconstructed because now you're not injecting your JavaScript anymore, right? So you have to kind of put it into the right spots. So there's going to be some work involved. Now, what you're going to see is there's not a lot of detail here for 60 marks. And I'll tell you why. Because the work is really what it says. Your existing CSS, including Bootstrap or another front-end CSS framework and font icon should function as expected. That's what should happen, okay? We'll talk about how there's some hiccups around making this work. Styling content should appear as close as possible to your portfolio set from assignment 1, if not better. And what I mean by that is, you know, it shouldn't break your, you know, your concept for your portfolio set. Whatever your portfolio set had before should pretty much work now, for the most part. There are some things, like I said, that might be difficult to do. And as long as we communicate together and you tell me, well, you know what, I don't think this is as easy to do in React, then I might be okay with it. And I'm going to be lenient. I want the majority, let's say the bulk of your stuff to be up, you know, and we'll compare your previous site from this site. So I need you to make a brand new repository. I need you to make a brand new site for your, you know, to pump out. Now, some of you, this is interesting. Some of you people, some people online or people that are not in our recording today, not with us this morning. Some of you used a custom domain, which is interesting, right? So you bought a domain for yourself and you've pointed your portfolio, your domain to your portfolio site. Yeah, so that is going to have to be repointed. So you're going to have to point your domain now to the new site that you're going to make if you're going to do that. But I need to be able to access both. So please don't kill your previous site. Don't take it down or whatever. I want to be able to compare your previous site from this one and do a one-to-one comparison. Here's something. What about if your assignment 1 was no good? You didn't do so good on assignment 1. Or what if, you know, your assignment 1 was bare bones? Or what if you didn't do assignment 1? That's also possible. Some people have not done assignment 1 for different reasons, right? Well, this is your chance to do assignment 2 with the content, right? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to dock you marks if you don't have assignment 1, but that means take a look at assignment 1's detail and make sure that your assignment 2 has everything that I asked for from assignment 1, and then you will get your marks, whether you made assignment 1 or not. Okay, so because there's some people who didn't, and I want to make sure that you know, you don't suffer or you're not going to, like, you know, not be able to pass or something, because, you know, every other assignment's going to be based on, there's almost like a rolling kind of progression. We're going to start with the first one, we're going to build on the second one and the third one and the fourth one. And what if you didn't do the first one? Well, then you're screwed. And the answer is no, you're not. Okay, so you can still make the second one happen, you know, and all that kind of stuff if you didn't do the first one. Your main app component, we'll talk about what the React is, should include something called a React routing mechanism. And we'll talk about what that is. The other thing is that your site structure should follow this. It should be created with something called Create React App. We're going to talk about how to do that. I want you to scaffold out your site, your initial site with Create React App. I'll show you what that is today, starting off today. I want you to create a content folder that will include your content page components. So this is different than what we had before. Before, your content folder was your CSS stuff. Not now. Now it's going to be all your content, your actual content. So your content pages, like your bio page or landing page or you know, your contact pages, all those things. I want you to make a component folder, and this is going to have your site's main navigation and footer components if you have any. All right, so that's where those are going to go. So that's a little bit of structure, but for the most part, not a lot. And you must use something called React Router DOM, the React Router DOM package. I'll show you what that is. So there's a little bit of restrictions in terms of how you do your routing. I'm going to show you how this is done. And then as well as you must use TypeScript for your React app. So you cannot use this JavaScript with React. You have to use TypeScript, okay? Because again, we're trying to continue with TypeScript this second half. And as you roll into Rich's section next semester, 2068, which you'll be doing, I think, at the advanced server-side stuff that you'll be doing, where you're making advanced your web application development course, the next one. We'll be using, I want you guys to know React and TypeScript so you can kind of teleport from where we are today into that course. And a kind of a smooth transition is something I want you guys to have. Compared to going in there and going, oh my God, what is this code I've never seen before? Because that's what would happen to you. You know, if you went from, you know, the baby JavaScript that you started off with to the, you know, kind of more advanced JavaScript that we're going to be doing now and next semester. And please forgive me when I say baby JavaScript, it's still JavaScript. It's just that I always think of it as kind of a beginner way of learning, and which is fine. All right. Again, internal documentation is a must. Some people didn't do this for their assignment one for some reason. They didn't include any internal documentation at all, which means no comments throughout their code and all that stuff. That's 10 marks of your assignment. Please don't do that. Make sure you include marks. Go through this stuff that I've put here. I think it's important. And GitHub, some people did this with some, I feel like, you know, a grade school teacher with some level of competency. You know, and that's what the grade school teachers put on the report cards, with some ability, you know, this kind of thing. Some people did this okay, some people didn't do it so well. The part of the things that they didn't do so well is, you know, they only had one commit. They put their GitHub repository up at the very last minute, and it was like, because I asked them to, right? And, or they needed to because of render.com, right? Because they had to put it up on render, so they had to have a GitHub repository. They're like, oh my God, now I have to do this. I can't do it any other way. And there's only one commit. You know, one commit means you're not using GitHub properly, right? So you lost marks there. It's the same thing for this one. You must deploy your site to a live server using Git, and I recommend render.com, but you can use other places as well. Some people submitted Azure, which is interesting, and some people actually, you know, put their site up on AWS, which is also interesting. So I'm okay with that. However, I want to tell you that putting your stuff up, it's as a React app, is a little different, and we have to go through the build process. There is a build process that we're going to be talking about with your React app. Then you're going to create a short video presentation on YouTube, just like normal, and everything else should be pretty much the same. So this is your assignment 2. It doesn't sound like a lot, at least from my perspective. However, for you, it might be, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Now it's real. It's hit me. I have to do React. And Tom is asking me to do this insanity, and this course just keeps getting worse. No, it's not. It's not worse. It's okay. You're going to have fun. Don't worry. And I mean that in the best possible way. I don't mean that to kill you guys. I don't think it's difficult, and I'm going to guide you through most of it, and I'm going to pay you for it twice in some ways, and you'll see what I mean by that. This week, we're going to start off with a React app of our own, based on the stuff that we ended off with together, and then I'm going to show you the build process. You just have to follow the same process for your portfolio site, and that's how it'll be. So you're getting kind of a guided tour on how to do it. That's the idea behind this. You won't do this alone. You know, but it is due in a couple weeks, so it's not like a long time for you to get this done. Okay, and then as soon as we're done that, we have another one and another one, and then we're done, right? So each one, though, remember, is just building on what we've done the previous time. So it's not like you're going to be I could have made a huge assignment 1 or assignment 2, which is 20%, and then you could have had, what, you know, all of you would have been, it would have been terrible for you. I don't believe in that. So I like breaking them up into smaller little bits, so you have a chance to do good in all of them, right? And better in some and worse in others, and still come up with a decent mark and understanding, and then move into the next semester. That's my strategy. Okay, any questions around assignment 2? Do 2 short weeks from now, November 20th. Oh my God, that sounds like a far away time. And you're like, wait, that's not 2 weeks, that's like 3 weeks because we're not even in November 1st yet. Yeah, but it's Sundays. I'm always making it on the Sunday. So theoretically it is kind of 2 weeks, right? So it's November 20th, that's when it's due. And it's the week of week 10. So again, if you think about this, if you look at the clock here, let's look at the calendar a little bit. This is week 1, right? Ends on the 6th. Week 2 ends on the 13th. And then that's like, so week 8, week 9, week 10 ends on the 20th. That's how it works, okay? So bear in mind that that's how it's going to be. And then we're into week 11, week 12, 13 and 14 are going to be in December. So we're into the cold months. Hopefully it's not going to be so terrible driving out here. Let's see what happens. So questions around assignment 2. What about people online? Is there anyone who wants to talk about assignment 2 at all? Okay. Thank you, Andres. And again, we're missing some people today. I know it's early. Some people are still recovering from the weekend and from last week, so it's totally fine. And I'm recording this anyway, so it's. I'm going to stop recording now, and I'm just going to use this first video as, hey, this is your assignment 2. And then we'll make another video for the content for today, okay?